Am I the antagonist for refusing to take part in the joint baby shower my aunt wants to throw for my two half-sisters and me? I am 26 years old and pregnant, as are my two half-sisters who are 27 and 29 years old. Our shared aunt asked each of us individually if she could host a baby shower for us. My two half-sisters said yes, but only thinking it was just for the two of them. Aunt informed me that it was going to be a surprise for all three of us to be the guests of honor. I questioned why she would surprise them like that, and she explained it was because they had not seen me since I became pregnant, and she felt it would be special for the three of us, sisters all pregnant at the same time and due around the same time, to have a joint shower. Background: my half-sisters and I have the same father. He and their mom were on and off, and during an off period while she was pregnant with the youngest of my half-sisters, he met my mom. He quickly married my mom, and a few months later I was on the way. My half-sister's mom also remarried around that time. They primarily lived with their mom and stepdad, spending every other weekend with me and my parents. We were not close growing up. Our dad had a good relationship with them and they adored him, but they never wanted me around. Due to our close ages, we were often grouped together, leading others to assume we were close. However, they would often leave me behind, ignore me, and act as if I didn't exist. They acknowledged their half-siblings born through their mom as siblings, but I was never considered a half-sibling by them. While they might acknowledge me around our dad, they did not do so in front of others. Family vacations were challenging because we would end up sharing a room, and they made it clear they didn't like me or want me there with them. They would often express that I ruined their sister bonding time. As adults, nothing has changed between us. Our dad's disability from a terminal illness has led to decreased casual interactions. This dynamic has not gone unnoticed by the extended family. Most accept that this is the choice my half-sisters have made. However, my aunt seems to downplay their decision and came up with the idea for the joint baby shower. I explained to her why it was a bad idea and explicitly stated that they do not want me in their lives, let alone sharing a special day with me. She dismissed my concerns and insisted that they would love it. I informed her that I would not participate in the joint shower. She tried to persuade me, saying it would be fun, and when I still refused, she accused me of being ungrateful and told me to appreciate her efforts. I suggested that she should tell them the truth and see how they react, but she accused me of trying to ruin the surprise and being ungrateful. Am I the asshole? Am I the antagonist? First of all, let me just say that this is quite the cornucopia of drama you found yourself in. On one hand, the idea of a joint baby shower for three sisters all expecting at the same time sounds like a sitcom plot waiting to happen. On the other hand, your history with your half-sisters seems more like a melodrama straight out of a soap opera. In all seriousness, it seems like the underlying issue here goes beyond just a baby shower. The strained relationship between you and your half-sisters is deep-rooted and clearly has a long history. It's understandable that you wouldn't want to be put in a potentially awkward or hurtful situation, especially considering the past dynamics between you. Your aunt may have had the best intentions in mind when planning the joint baby shower, but it's important to respect your boundaries and feelings. It's not ungrateful to prioritize your own emotional well-being, even if it means declining a well-intentioned gesture. In the end, it's up to you to decide what feels right for you in this situation, whether that means opting out of the joint shower or finding a compromise that works for everyone involved. Just remember, you're not obligated to sacrifice your own comfort for the sake of family dynamics or social niceties. Am I the antagonist for getting mad because my roommate gained weight and ripped my suit? My roommate, I'll call him David, and I are both 23 years old and have been living together since sophomore year of college. We're both 5 feet 11 inches tall and have been similar sizes throughout college. We both worked out regularly and weighed about the same. I'm 168 pounds. We're super close, so we would share clothes a bunch, since we could easily fit into each other's clothes. Since graduating college, I think I look pretty much the same. I still work out and still weigh about the same. David, on the other hand, has gained around 20 pounds. He works out less and now has a bit of a gut. We both drink a good amount of beer together, but I still work out and probably have a better metabolism than him, so it hasn't affected me as much as it has David. A few days ago, David asked to borrow my suit to go to a wedding with his girlfriend. I told him that was fine, so he went to try it on. He came out wearing the suit, which was already a pretty slim fit, and I could tell that it just did not fit him anymore with his weight gain. I asked him to take it off and said that I changed my mind about letting him wear it. He jokingly asked if it was because he looked bad or fat in it, and I responded jokingly saying, yes, he was a little too fat for it. He then asked more seriously and said that he's worn the suit before, and I had to tell him it was because he actually has put on a few pounds and I didn't want to damage the suit. He got upset at this and said that I was being insensitive and that he hasn't changed that much since college. I pointed out that he has a beer belly going on now, which made him even more upset. I told him that if he wanted to keep borrowing my clothes, he needed to lose the extra weight. Sure enough, after moving around for about a minute, the suit pants ripped pretty bad down the back. He obviously got very embarrassed and went to change. After that, he's barely spoken to me, much less apologized for ripping my nice suit. For more context, I know that his financial situation is a little difficult right now, so I wouldn't ask him to replace the suit. Am I the asshole? It sounds like a classic case of the battle of the beer bellies. In all seriousness though, it seems like this situation could have been handled with a bit more tact. While it's understandable that you wanted to protect your suit from potential damage, commenting on your roommate's weight gain, especially in the context of denying him the use of your suit, may have come across as insensitive. Perhaps a gentler approach could have been taken to address the issue of the suit not fitting properly without mentioning the weight gain directly. It's unfortunate that the suit ended up getting damaged, but it might be a good idea to have a conversation with your roommate and try to smooth things over. Flex those communication muscles just as you do at the gym. Am I the antagonist for telling my parent they don't get to act like the victim when they named me after their late partner behind my other parent's back? My mother was married to another man before she was married to my dad. Her first husband was her childhood best friend, her first and only love until he died. They started dating as teenagers and got married in their 20s and were trying to have children when he died. They were 28 years old. My mother never loved anyone else again. She met and married my dad, but she never loved him. She married him because she was turned down as a single adoptive parent and because people in her life told her she should find a way to be happy again. I'm their only child and she named me after her first husband. My dad didn't realize for years her husband's name was James, like his legal name. It's the one most people used for him. But my mom called him Hunter, and guess what my name is? Hunter Dice. She told Dad she just really loved the name, and my dad liked it too, so he agreed. He only knew her first husband as James, so never made the connection. I was 10 years old when my dad found out. He found some letters that he initially thought were meant for me, but realized they were to the first husband. They ended up arguing for like 2 weeks straight, and that's how I learned Mom's feelings toward Dad and why she married him. I would sit up and listen to them when I was meant to be sleeping because it weirded me out to learn I was named after her first husband. She always had him very present in our lives. We had loads of photos in the house of him. She would talk about him a lot, and it was pretty clear she was still super in love with him. I only realized last year, but something she also did was switch her wedding ring from my dad out for her original wedding ring when my dad wasn't around. I remember her changing rings a lot when I was a younger child, and when they divorced, she just always wore her original wedding ring. I wanted my name changed, and my dad does too, but Mom refuses to give her consent, which we need, and the judge has insisted both parents have to consent. My relationship with Mom is not good anyway. I'm not the child she wanted because I'm not James Hunter's child, but she also refuses to let me go and just let me be Dad's child. She'll sometimes try some performative parenting, but mostly it's sort of like we're roommates when I'm at her house instead of Dad's. I have to split my time every other week. The judge refused to let me make the decision. My mom's house has photos of her and James all over the place. It's like a shrine to him to them, and 2 days ago she was crying to her former in-laws that we hate her and how awful my dad is to her. When the call ended, I told her she doesn't get to act like the victim when she lied to Dad about my name and named me after her deceased husband behind Dad's back, and when she won't let me change my name so I'm not creeped out by the history behind my name. She called me a self-absorbed brat and told me I will never understand her grief. I told her I understood the loss was devastating for her, but she used us and never even loved us, and that was unfair. Am I the asshole? While your situation is certainly unique, it seems like you are caught in the middle of a complicated family dynamic. It's understandable that you feel uncomfortable being named after your mom's first husband, especially given the emotional implications tied to it. Your desire to change your name is valid, and it's unfortunate that your mom is not willing to consider your feelings in this matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make you an asshole to want to change your name to feel more at ease with your own identity. It's important for you to have agency over your own name, and to not be burdened by the past in a way that affects your well-being. It sounds like communication and understanding are lacking in your relationship with your mom, and it might be beneficial to seek out family therapy or counseling to navigate these complex emotions. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your own emotional well-being in this situation. Am I the antagonist for not telling my parent that my sibling wants to live with us? My female cousin, 18, and I, 16, have a rocky relationship. We are good, but in a way, we're bad. Lately, I've grown to resent my cousin because she's kind of a bop, literally. Since my cousin failed a grade, she's in my grade, and I thought it would be fun to have her in the same grade. However, she's the type of girl who goes the extra mile for male attention. She treats me differently around her boyfriend because she thinks he's into me, and honestly, I think so too, but that's a story for another Am I the Asshole Reddit post. Anyway, every male friend I get uses me to get in her panties because she's considered easy. Some guys pretend to bully me because they know she'll stick up for me, and then a week goes by, and I find out they're having sex behind my back. After they fall out, suddenly my so-called friend doesn't want to be friends anymore. Her boyfriend and I are pretty cool with each other, but I never allowed him to get close to me physically or emotionally because I felt like it was wrong. He continues to disrespect her and subtly flirt with me. While my cousin thinks I enjoy the attention and want her man, I find it very annoying, and I find him a pain in the trait. I already have a boyfriend that my cousin's boyfriend set me up with, so it confuses me why he would do that when he and my boyfriend are childhood friends. But my cousin has a rough life, and my mom is trying to save her before it's too late. I already think it's too late for her, so she promises to move her in with us. She wants me to move out of my room for her and give me a small space in the front room. I feel like I sound ungrateful because I already said no. I feel like it's unfair to me, especially when a couple of days ago, she refused to put my little sister in the front room space for my cousin, saying, "That's unfair." Anyway, my cousin texted me asking me to tell my mom that she's ready to come out here and she can't wait anymore. I haven't told my mom anything because I don't want her out here. Since I was 14, I've been actively trying to get away from her because she ruins my life. Everywhere I go, she's there, and my mom knows how I feel about her being here because of what she does. She refuses my feelings towards the situation. I'm thinking about getting a job and running away on my 17th birthday or sometime when it gets warmer outside. It sounds like you're dealing with a lot of drama and tension in your relationship with your cousin. It's tough when family dynamics get tangled up with personal boundaries and conflicting emotions. It's important to communicate your feelings to your mom and try to find a solution that works for everyone involved. Running away might not solve the underlying issues, so it's worth exploring other options first. Hang in there and keep a sense of humor amidst the chaos. You've got this. Would I be the antagonist if I told my BFF's mom the real reason I won't be there for her child's marriage proposal? My best friend, 28 years old female, and I, 29 years old female, have been best friends since middle school, super close and very much present in each other's lives. She is moving from Ohio to Connecticut, which will make it harder for me to see her as often because we'll be a 10-hour car ride apart and there are no direct flights. Her and her boyfriend, 32 years old male, bought a house in his hometown 20 minutes from his parents' house, and they move in on April 19th. She invited me to ride up with her parents to help her move in. The boyfriend called me a week ago to tell me he plans to propose at their front door before they enter the house for the first time as homeowners. When they open the door, their immediate families will be on the other side. I assumed he wouldn't want me there since it was just going to be parents and siblings, but he said he'd love for me to be there and that she would want me there. She told him to make sure I knew about the proposal 6 months in advance. Of course, he just planned this a couple of weeks ago. So today I reached out to her mom and coordinated the ride up there. She was happy he invited me up. As soon as I confirmed the plans with her, the boyfriend called. He told me that his mother doesn't want me there because she thinks it should be immediate family only. I've never met the woman, so I know it's not anything personal, but he also asked me to do him a favor and not tell my best friend or her mom the truth about why I can't be there. I don't like the idea of lying to either of them, and I think they'll both be upset that I bailed. Also, I'm a terrible liar, and I don't think it's fair to save his mom face because she's already on thin ice with my friend and her mom. I've been crying about it all day because I was so excited to be a part of it. I think I would be the one in the wrong if I told her and or her mom the truth because it will cause tension as they'll definitely confront her about it. And they already aren't big fans because she meddles and is controlling. Lastly, I told the boyfriend I wouldn't give them the real reason, but I am her friend before I am his. I don't want to set a negative tone for this new chapter in their lives. I'd tell because I don't want my friend to think I didn't want to be there or that I thought something else was more important. I know she will be hurt that I'm not there. And I honestly can't think of an excuse that her mom would accept or believe. My best friend has always been there when I needed her, dropping everything and driving 6 hours or hopping on a plane without me asking. I know she'd want me. TLDR, best friend's boyfriend invited me to her proposal but called to tell me I can't go because his mom only wants immediate family present. I'm crushed, and I know my bestie will be sad I'm not there for it. Her and her mom aren't fans of his mom, so he doesn't want me to tell either of them the real reason why I am not going to be there. But would I be the one in the wrong if I did tell her mom the truth? It sounds like you are facing quite a dilemma, and your feelings of disappointment are completely valid. It's clear how much you value your friendship and want to be there for your best friend during this important moment in her life. In situations like this, honesty is usually the best policy, even if it may cause some tension. It's important to consider your loyalty to your best friend and prioritize your relationship with her over potential discomfort with her boyfriend's mother. Your instinct to be truthful with them is commendable, as keeping secrets may lead to hurt feelings and misunderstandings down the line. Perhaps you could approach the situation with humor and grace, explaining the circumstances honestly to your friend and her mother while reassuring them of your unwavering support and excitement for this new chapter in their lives. It's all about communication and transparency in maintaining healthy relationships. Remember, true friends will appreciate honesty and genuine intentions, even in difficult situations. Your best friend values your presence, and being open with her about this obstacle will only strengthen your bond in the long run. Am I the antagonist for telling my classmate that they should probably drop out? Am I the asshole for telling my classmate she should probably drop out? I'm currently in my first year of law school and overall, I'm pretty happy with my choice. It's a good university. I like the professors and I think law is pretty fun. Of course, I don't love everything about it. There are subjects that I find boring and I'm not always motivated, but overall I'm happy, you get the picture. A friend of mine, however, let's call her Anne, is currently struggling. We're not best friends but friendly at least, and we hang out in the cafeteria regularly with a few other people. We've had exams recently and I've been doing quite well, whereas Anne has barely passed them. Failing a class or two in law school is pretty standard. Anne, however, has always been top of her class and is very unhappy about her grades. She has been complaining all semester and now it's become even worse. She's been complaining constantly about how hard it is and how boring and how she spends all day in the library studying. She then said something along the lines of, "No one can find this stuff interesting, right? But we just have to push through, and when we finish school we'll be earning tons of money." I honestly thought it was a joke and laughed, but she meant it and reacted irritated. So I asked her if she really didn't like any of the courses, to which she replied no, she didn't. So I asked if she really wanted to continue law school then, since it'll be years before we graduate and it can't be healthy to force herself to spend every waking hour with topics she apparently hates. So if she really didn't enjoy any of it, she could maybe pursue a degree that suited her more. She kind of blew up on me, telling me to stop rubbing my grades in everyone's faces, which I wasn't. I only mentioned them once a few days earlier when I was explicitly asked about them. She also told me it was none of my business what degree she pursued, and I shouldn't have humiliated her like that in front of everyone else. Most of my friends are on my side, but some also think I shouldn't have been so blunt. So, am I the asshole? In this situation, I would say that you may have unintentionally stepped into some sensitive territory. While you were trying to offer some genuine advice, it seems like Anne may have taken it the wrong way. It's important to remember that everyone's academic journey is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. Perhaps a more tactful approach could have been to have a private conversation with Anne instead of bringing it up in front of other people. However, your intentions seem to come from a place of concern for her well-being, which is commendable. In the future, it might be helpful to approach these types of conversations with a bit more finesse and sensitivity. Law school can be tough, and it's natural for people to experience ups and downs along the way. Keep in mind that humor can be a double-edged sword in sensitive situations like these. It's important to consider the other person's feelings and perspective before offering advice, even if it's wrapped in a bit of humor. Ultimately, it's up to Anne to decide what path is best for her, and your role as a friend is to support and encourage her, regardless of her choices. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.